Hello and welcome to Reality TV Cringe. I am one of your hosts, Delia, here with my real tight homegirl and my daughter-in-law, Beatrice.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing today?
Girl, I'm happy to be here talking Sister Wives with you.
I know. We've been hanging out all day, having a good time, even though Sister Wives was a bit depressing, as per usual.
Hella sad.
Yeah. Things are falling apart at Coyote Pass.
Yeah.
We can no longer just look at the mountain.
No, we can't. We can't have any hope anymore.
No, you can't.
God.
Well, you continue to hope, and you continue to hope, and then you lose all hope, and sometimes you stay around even longer.
Ugh, so sad.
Ladies, move on. This guy is not worth it.
No.
Can we all just agree on that?
For real.
Oh, before we get into this episode, we want to give you a disclaimer. Had your wife, had your kids. This is a politically incorrect podcast. We are not here to massage your fee-fees.
No.
So if you're sensitive, this is not the podcast for you. We keep it real.
Yeah.
That's what we're about. We're real raccoons.
We are.
Okay.
Also, go follow us on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Reality TV Cringe. We have so much bonus content up on there. It's ridiculous.
We're working hard.
We are working hard.
That's because we're nocturnal. We work in the night.
Yes, we do.
And we work in the day. We also eat and sleep in the day and in the night, whatever. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Honestly, any comment, any like, all of that stuff helps us in the algorithm. It helps us to grow, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, before we get into this episode, there is like a little bit of hot goss I want to talk to you about. Just a little bit. And then I understand somebody called in with a statement.
Yes,
that we want to get to.
Pipe.
All right, so first and foremost, from the Instagram of Without a Crystal Ball, and I don't want to hear it from you. I know everybody's opinion, but nonetheless, from her Instagram, she made a post about Robyn Brown.
Oh, did she? I didn't see this.
As you know, Robyn Brown is very quiet on social media.
Yeah.
So is Kody, because all they get is wrecked up in the comments.
As they should.
But Robyn Brown does have a low-key Pinterest account.
Oh.
Do you have a Pinterest account?
Yeah, but I only post stuff on there like once a year.
Oh, I've never really had one. Well, she's had one for quite some time. Now, the bio on her Pinterest account reads, followers. Go find purpose in your own life and stop wasting your precious time with mine.
Okay, Robyn Brown.
I think she has like 6,000 followers.
Wow. For Pinterest?
I don't know why you're following her. She doesn't like you, nor does she like anybody who watches this show, because this is how she talks to the raccoons.
Then get off of the TV then.
That's right.
Shit.
Recently, she put up a couple of, what do you kids call it? It's not a meme. It's just a graphic.
Yeah.
Couple of graphics. The first one read as follows. You can pray all you want, but eventually David had to pick up a stone and act against Goliath.
What? What would that be in reference to?
She feels picked on.
Oh, God. Cry me a fucking river.
She feels attacked, but at some point, I'm going to have to get this slingshot, and I'm going to have to hit you right between the eyes and kill you.
Then do it.
'Cause you're bullying me, and I'm a victim.
Then fucking do it. I'm going to call her out on her bluff. Do it. What are you going to say?
But it's more testimony that she perceives herself to be the eternal victim.
Girl.
The underdog in all of this.
How she did nothing wrong.
When really she's the perpetrator. And we all know it.
Yeah.
Another graphic reads, when God prunes people out of your life, let him do what he knows is best for you. He sees a Judas before you do. Amen.
My God.
I feel like that's about Meri.
Why? Why would she be hard on Meri?
Because this tell-all was filmed in July of 2022. Now, I'm not sure when she put that graphic up, but I think it was within the last 6 months to a year. I just feel like with everything happening in the family, she's looking at Meri, who's leaving, making a decision to separate. Maybe she's talking about Janelle. Maybe she's talking about Christine. I don't know. But I definitely think that's a dig to the OG wives.
Well, and if it was about Meri specifically, I guess it could be about Meri saying on the preview for next week's tell-all that she doesn't consider Robyn a sister wife because we would have to still be in a plural marriage. Because Robyn, of course, is like, I still consider them all a sister wife.
No, you don't. And you never did. Furthermore,
no, bitch.
So I thought that was very interesting. I think, again, this is the only social media platform that Robyn utilizes for her bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I like that somebody's monitoring it at all times.
That's pretty interesting. Well, because she's not posting. Like, she's not on Twitter. She's not on Instagram. I mean, she hasn't been on Instagram since I think like 2018 or 2019.
Long time.
So
Yep.
it's been very dead. But that is kind of interesting. I like some shady Pinterest posts.
Yes, so do I. Okay, now on to our speak pipe. Now, again, we say unto you, if you want to call in and sound off, give us your opinions on any of the shows that we watch, or your opinions on us, but only if they're nice.
Only if you want to say we're pretty.
No. But if you want to talk to us, you can do that by going to speakpipe.com/realitytvcringe. And I think you have up to 90 seconds. It's perfectly free. And when I tell you, we are so tickled to hear from you. I mean it.
Every time. We love it so much.
Thank you. So who called in?
Well, we got a lovely voice message from Ainsley Nicole.
Okay.
Hi, Ainsley. And she's got a question for us about Sister Wives in the newest season.
Okay.
Hello, Bea. Hello, Dee. This is Ainsley calling from Oregon. I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on if you think that this next season, season 19 of Sister Wives, will be the last for the franchise. I feel like there's a lot to cover for season 19. Christine and David, Meri and Janelle, wherever they're at. I just feel like it's, especially with this last season, season 18, just being so boring, and the amount of flashback after flashback just over and over again. I feel like it's rapidly running out of content. I do see some spin-offs in the future with the 3 OG wives. I'm hoping that Kody and Robyn will just fall off the face of the planet when it comes to this franchise. Yeah, I feel like season 19 will be it for Sister Wives. Let me know what y'all think. Thank you so much for all that you do. I absolutely love being a raccoon in this dumpster fire. Again, thank you, and take care, you two.
Oh my gosh, thank you,
Thank
Ainsley.
you.
You're the sweetest.
We love you.
Do we think that there's going to be some seasons past 19? I think if they can create content again, like actually do new things in their life, have new adventures, new relationships, like do stuff that's new.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the current watchers would continue to watch.
Totally.
See, what's happened in season 18 and also season 17 was there was just some stuff that was new.
Right.
And then a lot of referencing back and forth. And like Ainsley says, flashbacks and the editing of it all. This season in particular has been horrible for that.
Yes, it's been very annoying. I could totally see season 19 being a full new season, but it's going to be some footage that we've already seen probably. It's going to be flashbacks to the one-on-ones and things like that. But I wouldn't put it past TLC to like drag it out to season 20. Like, I think they have seen the last 2 seasons, season 17 and 18, skyrocket in popularity.
Right.
They're making a shitload of money off of this stuff. So I wouldn't put it past them to just milk that cow for as long as they could.
Oh, of course.
Even if that means having Kody and Robyn be the center of attention in future seasons, but only if like Robyn will let them film in her hoarder house.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that they've earned such ill will from the audience that, I mean, just the prospect of recapping those two going forward into the next, 2 to 5 years.
That'd be terrible.
Just makes me, I'm going to have to be meditating, doing my spiritual practices so I can maintain my chill because I don't like them so deeply.
Yeah.
And everything they say is a lie.
Oh, yeah.
And everything is a revision of history. We see it in this episode with Kody saying yet again that he never loved Meri.
I know. What a fucking joke.
And just the crap that they say. It's like, well, why am I watching somebody who's just lying to me?
Right.
But if they could do something different, I mean, yeah. I mean, it would be, I guess, somewhat interesting. The spin-offs, for example, Christine and David, and maybe the blending of that family would be interesting for a little while. But honestly, and I know some of our listeners and viewers don't agree, but like Christine is kind of working my last nerve.
She's kind of annoying. I mean, I'm happy for her. I'm glad that she found her new man and she's getting her back blown out. And that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just a little much.
Yes.
It's just a little much. Like, I love Janelle. I'd love to see spinoffs with her and her life and what she's doing, even if she's just like gardening and hanging out with her kids.
Oh my gosh,
and
if
stuff.
she like gets a professional greenhouse
That
and
would be
starts to do some
great.
kind of permaculture food forest
I
on
love that.
prairie dog leprosy syphilis land, I
Yeah.
would be 100% interested to watch that.
Yeah.
But the moment Kody Brown steps onto Coyote Pass, deuces, my energy, my spirit is out.
For real.
Because I can't stand him.
No,
And
no.
in terms of the kids, like the older kids and their lives, I'm not really interested in any of them. I'm certainly not interested in McKelty and Tony.
Absolutely not.
I'm really not interested in Maddie and Caleb. So it's not like there's a whole lot that I'm curious about
Right.
that part of the family either.
Right. And I mean, if you're not going to be honest in future seasons either, and you're just going to be fake and do dumb like storylines of them just like going to the store or whatever.
Manufacture drama.
Right. Like, I don't really want to see that. But again, I mean, whatever they can do to get content,
Right.
whatever they can do to get money.
I mean, what they could do to get content and money is to onboard some new wives, but it looks
Yeah.
like Kody is dead set against that. And what they could do to get some new content would be for Robyn to pull out of this marriage now that it's a monogamous one and not a polygamist one anymore.
Oh my God.
I think that would be fascinating to watch, especially if they start throwing themselves under the bus. Oh my God, I would live for that.
That would
and
be
I do think
amazing.
there's like somewhat of a chance that that could happen.
Yeah.
And again, if the money starts to taper out, I think Robyn is going to want to dip out, and then Cody's going to be, she'll take everything. She'll take everything she can get her grimy little paws on.
Yep.
And he will be left with his gun business
And his sports car, I guess.
and his dumb sports car Lexus that he couldn't even move. I mean, that would be something I would be riveted to watch.
That would be so awesome if season 20 was just the breakup of him and Robyn. Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
Put it on the vision board.
Yes, let's put that shit on the vision board. Good question, Ainsley.
Thank you.
If you are watching on YouTube, we would love to hear your comments. Do
Yeah.
you think there's going to be some seasons past 19? What kind of seasons do you think we're going to be looking at? What kind of content? We'd like to know.
Yeah, let us know down below.
All right, let's get into Sister Wives season 18. I think episode 16.
Yeah. I don't know.
The one-on-one part 2. Now we begin this tell-all with the conversation about Janelle and Kody and their sexual compatibility, because as you recall, last week we kind of left on that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. And what we really want to know, and we've actually asked the question a few times because Janelle's so quiet about things.
Yeah. She's very secretive.
As to whether she and Kody have a good sex life.
And see, I've always thought that Janelle and Kody probably didn't have sex like at all, like hardly at all. I always
Really?
thought she was like a baby making wife. And once he had his 6th kid with her,
Honey,
he was like
she's
done.
a Taurus.
I
We're very
mean,
sensual creatures.
Yeah, but
we
she's
like to
kind
be
of quiet.
touched.
She's kind of quiet about
Right,
it.
but that's her like papa energy. There's something about Janelle, like her laid back vibe, and the way she keeps things close to her chest. It just makes, she feels like she's a sexy, sexy woman to me.
Like what? Like doing dirty positions with him or pegging him like Robyn?
I don't know, but I just feel like she's maybe sexually expressive, and she does confirm that they had a very healthy relationship.
Very healthy.
That it was a full-bodied marital union, if you know what I'm saying, baby.
And she says they had no problems in the sexual department, in the physical compatibility department, which is very interesting.
They were fucking.
They were fucking a lot.
And then they bop over to Kody and they ask him the same question, and he just can't admit it.
No, he can't. He looks down. He doesn't want to say anything because Robyn's there.
Right.
He doesn't want Robyn to hear that he loved having sex with Janelle. He ate her ass. He ate her box. She was sticking her finger up in his booty a little bit.
It doesn't have to be all that. It just could be they
I
had a
think so.
complete marriage and
Yeah.
that they were very sexually expressive. But Kody can't admit it in the moment. And I'm wondering if he can't admit it because of Robyn, like you say,
Yeah.
because maybe that would make Robyn very uncomfortable because she's the only one with a breakdancing pussy. or whether he doesn't want to admit that he received like sexual gratification from Janelle because she has dumped his ass and he's got pride.
That might be it
and
too.
Ego. Yes.
Yeah. Like just like how he's saying with Christine, how he's so unattracted to her and grossed out when she eats nachos, but he still had 6 kids with her.
Yes.
He was banging that back out.
Absolutely. But he can't admit it because he's such a baby.
He is a baby.
Then we get into the conversation about reconciliation, about why Kody showed up to that Salsa Brava encounter, prancing in with his shiny shoes, right, and his nice outfit, fully expecting, I think, to get back together with Janelle, even though he hadn't talked to her in a couple of months at that point.
Yeah.
Hadn't talked to Savannah, is an objectively terrible husband and father.
Yeah.
He prances into that encounter and expects to reconcile with Janelle. But of course, we all know Janelle's like, I don't think so. I feel really comfortable with my life right now and I don't need you in it.
No, I want to stay separated actually. And this catches him off guard. So of course, his ego probably kicks in and he's like, oh, well then I never loved you.
Right.
I've never loved you ever.
Well, and Suki asks him, like, why didn't you just tell Janelle in that moment? Because he has said a few times, I do want to reconcile with Janelle.
Yeah.
You know, I want to get back. I want to choose to love her again, which means I love her right now and I'm desperate to get back together with her. But like, why didn't you just tell her, pour out your heart to her at Salsa Brava over tortilla chips and let her know that? Because maybe if he did, Beatrice, Janelle would have been moved by that. In that moment, maybe. I think he still had a little bit of a chance.
For sure. I mean, and I think he was expecting Janelle to just roll over and be like, yeah, I want to reconcile and make things up, because that's how it's always been in the relationship. According to Janelle, every time they fight, she just kind of concedes and goes with what he wants and just lets it go. But this is the last straw, apparently. So, I mean, I think he was expecting her to just be like, yeah, baby, I want you in my bed, I want you back.
Or Janelle to be so independent that it doesn't really matter whether they're together or not. But that means if they're together, he would still be able to access her funds.
Right.
So I just think that she surprised him that day.
Totally.
And if he had opened up his heart and said, I love you, I want to heal this, maybe Janelle would have. But then we bop on back to Janelle, and Janelle's like, yeah, he never said anything like that at any time, whether on camera or off camera. He never, in an intimate and deep way, just said, you know, I love you, I want this marriage, I want to heal it, nothing. Instead, for him, what he wants me to do is earn my way back into some kind of a marriage with him by like doing the things he needs me to do. Maybe I need to get my boys in line so that he can feel like the powerful father that he is. But I always have to be working to do that. And she's like, I don't have to earn my way into any relationship, and I'm not going to be earning my way into this one.
No, bitch. And nothing she does will ever be good enough. Just like Meri said, nothing she ever did was ever good enough for Kody. And same thing for Christine.
Christine said it too.
This is his MO. He wants everything to be done his particular way, unless you're Robyn. Because if you're Robyn, then you can do no wrong.
Right.
And everything that you do is perfect and good with the best intent. But I mean, I don't blame Janelle for just being like, no, fuck you, I'm fucking done. This is stupid. This has been 30 years of this.
I don't need a man.
And now you're fucking with my kids. So like, why even bother, dude?
Yeah.
You've obviously changed too much. You want to be with Robyn and her breakdancing pussy.
So you go on.
Go on, boy.
Go and get that. We do have Christine saying, absolutely, it was always about me earning myself into a relationship with him, whether I could keep the house clean like he liked it, whether I could cook the dishes that he liked, but it ended up being never enough. And then we go to Meri, and Meri basically parrots the same thing. But then Suki asks Meri, like, but how does it feel when you're doing all of these things and jumping through all of these hoops because you want to be married to this man and it's so difficult and it's never enough. But then here he is with Robyn or another wife, giving that wife all of his attention and all of his love. And this is where Meri's like, yeah, it fucking hurts. It's like a knife in the kidneys. And she laughs.
I'm glad that they can all laugh about him saying that bullshit. Knife in the kidneys. I mean, that probably was him the most unhinged they've probably ever seen him. Just sitting there screaming about it.
By this point, he's a meme. That's a meme.
Total meme.
We've all been laughing about that for several months
for a year now, pretty much. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel really bad for Meri because, of course, that would hurt. But at the same time, it's like she stayed for so long after all of these hurts. I mean, the ring melting, girl, when we get to that, I've got so many thoughts about that. God, I just can't even imagine. I feel really bad for her. She's put up with so much because of her faith, because her faith tells her you're married to this guy for life, eternity, actually, and then you go to a planet with him next to Kolob, so you have to be a good, dutiful wife and be with him forever. Like, so she has that playing in her head. Plus, she got married to him at 19, lost her virginity to this stupid dope of a man, and then has to like be with him and just let him treat her like ass for 30 years. I just feel bad for her.
Yeah, and watch him give all of his love away to somebody who didn't earn it.
Nope.
Didn't
not at all.
Work for it.
Didn't have to do shit for it.
Didn't work for anything, really. Speaking of Meri, after this, we get into the conversation about her breaking the news around Parowan to Kody. So if you recall, and of course you probably watched this, but they had the conversation at Meri's house at her kitchen island where Meri was going to tell Kody that she was going to be not moving to Parowan, but spending more time in Parowan because her B&B needs her. And she's going to move her business there. And Suki asks like whether she was hoping Kody would have a different response. And Meri's like, no. I mean, I was hoping, but I was expecting him to be as ambivalent as he was in the moment.
Yeah, she said she still had a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Which... It's Meri.
You can't falter. I mean, there's spirit. There's the hope for the spirit, for the eternal life. There's the hope for this is the one man she's ever known. This is the first man that she's kissed. There's probably a lot of places that hope comes from. I don't fault her for that.
Yeah.
I just wish that hope would have run out a lot sooner than it did.
Yes, for sure.
We have the information about Robyn's pressure because, of course, Robyn joined Kody and Meri for that conversation because she speaks Kody, which we'll talk about in a moment. And Kody talks about how historically Robyn has pressured him to have some kind of a relationship with Meri, even though he doesn't want to. And we see Robyn in her interview say, well, it's because Kody does consider Meri.
No, he doesn't.
Like, not in a way that a man would consider a woman that he loves, but he thinks about her. And every once in a while, every season or so, he says, oh, I should call her. I wonder if she's alive in that haunted house in Flagstaff. So let me call Meri, let me drive by. So he considers her. So there's hope for a marriage. And this is her impetus for continuing to pressure both Meri to stay and Kody to try and have a relationship.
Which is super diabolical. And it's just her trying to get Meri to continue providing for the family and being her friend,
right?
Her sister wife.
Somebody open the books and show me what Meri contributed and show me when it stopped. Like, was she contributing all the way through 2019, 2020, 2021? And maybe part of 2022. And what was she contributing? Was she taking some of the proceeds from her LuLaRoe profits and putting it into the LLC?
That would be so stupid.
Was she donating her part of the sister wives' income to the what was she giving? How much? When did it stop?
Yeah, I want to know.
I want to know that as well.
Show us the coins.
With regard to hope and the hope that Meri has or had for Kody, you know, we talk also to Christine and she basically backs Meri up. She's like, yeah, you know, I spent a lot of time hoping that Kody would return or that we could have a regular relationship or an intimate relationship. And you just hope and you hope and you hope. And at some point you stop hoping, but that doesn't mean you necessarily leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes you continue to stay even though all the hope is gone. And she's like, I'm wondering if that's what happened with Meri.
Probably. And I mean, I can totally understand that. I mean, anybody who's been in like a narcissistic or an abusive type of relationship, like there's always going to be those moments where you think, am I going to be good enough or can I do more? Can I make more of an effort so that way they'll love me in the way that I want them to or I need them to? And so I'm sure that's what was going on in Meri's head pretty much the entirety of their marriage. I mean, she got together with him when she was fucking 19. Yeah. I literally can't even imagine. Well, I married your daughter at 20.
Like, you were
but
a
like,
baby.
We have a healthy relationship, so it's different.
But I mean, maybe they did too in the beginning.
Maybe they did.
The way she says it, like they did. They had a real romantic,
love.
Loving relationship. The way Kody says it, he never loved any of these bitches. But
which is a lie.
She felt the same way. You just never know.
Yeah.
All I know is it's sad.
Yeah.
Then we get into the part of the tell-all where they're talking about Robyn speaking Kody because Meri actually says, yeah, I wanted Robyn to be there because she speaks Kody. We bop on over to Christine, who's just like, excuse me.
That's
I've
bullshit.
known this man since I'm 18 years old. We've known each other for 32 years. I can speak Kody. I understand Kody. But Robyn had me convinced. Robyn had all of the OG wives convinced that she was the mediator of all of our marriages and that she was the one who could translate for Kody. And Christine even says at one point, I went to Robyn to ask her to mediate for my marriage.
Man,
And I'm
that's
like, whoa, you were drinking the Kool-Aid, man.
yeah, that's some dubious shit right there.
Like she was stabbing you in the back.
Yeah, 100,000%. She was using all of that against them privately with Kody. And that's so crazy because we've talked a lot on this pod about whether or not Robyn is like this master manipulator, puppet master, which we've concluded that she is. But we've also talked about her intelligence level and if she's really this smart to like orchestrate this whole thing from behind the scenes. And hearing that kind of stuff really proves that Robyn is smarter than what we think she is, because Robyn said, was it this season or last season? I can't remember. She has said, I stay out of everybody's relationships. I don't talk about their relationships at all. I don't want to hear about them because that's between Kody and his wife.
Right.
And then here we are.
This season, I mean, she's in the middle of it all. But I
Girl.
also think it speaks to Christine's desperation and Meri's desperation because they know the gargoyle at the gate of Kody is Robyn.
Yeah.
And so in order to get through the gate and get back to Kody and his heart, they're going to have to go through Robyn. And so they're trying to appease this queen and ask her for her help. Can you please, miss, can you talk to the king on our behalf to see if he can love us again? And she's like, well, I do speak Kody, so I guess if I'll find it in my heart to talk to him on your behalf. It's just, that's what it is. And so I just think Christine's desperate. I think Meri's desperate. I think Meri wants her in this kitchen conversation because she wants somebody just to help Kody to understand what's at stake here, what's happening here. And also Meri is desperate in this kitchen scene to let Kody know, but I still love you.
Yeah.
And I'm still
I'm
loyal.
not leaving.
This doesn't mean what you think it means.
Even though Cody's like, can you just leave though? Like just pack up your bags and go to Parowan. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Peace out, Meri.
Then we have a little bit of a discussion about the barn dominium. We watch, I guess Christine watched the footage of Kody saying that we can place Meri in the barn dominium with some of his cars and some of his storage because it costs so much money to rent storage. And so why don't we just build something in Meri? Yeah, you can live there if you want to.
You can store all my shit.
And Christine is like, that is the most insulting bullshit that I have ever seen. I mean, he's essentially saying, I'm going to throw you in this building with the rest of my garbage. And that's what I think of you. And Meri even says, and I think she's right, that Kody was making that offer like benevolently. No, it was Christine. Christine says, I think he thinks he's doing something good.
Yeah.
He doesn't see it for what it is and for what it symbolizes.
He doesn't at all because he doesn't care. He can't empathize with his wives and how he comes off at all because he thinks he's just being nice. Like, yeah, I'm considering you, Meri. I still want you to be a part of the family. Just go live in a barn on Coyote Pass.
Terrible.
Absolutely wild.
And then we get to the ring.
Girl.
Because, of course, in the kitchen at Meri's house, Meri notices that he's wearing a new ring. It's the stallion ring. We've gone over it. It's like a $6,900 ring. Robyn has one also. She doesn't wear it as her like wedding ring. But Meri notices that he's no longer wearing the Claddagh ring. And she knows what that symbolizes. And so we were just going to get to that. We were going to talk about the new ring that she discovered on that day. But no, Christine has to say that there's actually some history here. And this is where we learn that at or around the time Robyn entered the family, so that's 2011, I think, right?
Ish, yeah.
2010, 2011. Either during the courting or right about the time that they got married, Kody took off his wedding band that he had been wearing since he married Meri. So Meri gave him this band, and it must have been the wedding band that also signified his unions with Janelle and Christine.
Yep.
So he took this wedding band off, and it sounds like he did it without telling anybody first. He melted it down and took the diamonds
And kept them. And then didn't say anything.
No.
And then Meri noticed, where's your ring? Why don't you wear it anymore? And he's like, oh yeah, I melted that shit down. I didn't want it anymore.
I didn't want you to think you have any claim over me. So this is like at the time that we all start watching Sister Wives.
Literally season 1.
So from the very beginning, it's been ass and it's been shit.
Yep.
From the very beginning, they've been putting on for the cameras.
Yep.
Because Meri knew right then and there, and she talks about it in this episode, she knew right then and there that he was destroying their marriage together.
Yep.
And yet she went on for season after season after season, just like they all did, pretending that polygamy works. Polygamy can be healthy. Look at our big, beautiful family. When he had
Unbelievable.
melted down her ring.
Melted down her
He
ring.
is such a cruel, callous asshole.
And you know what? Robyn's lying ass on this tell-all says, oh, no, the melting down of the ring didn't happen when I came into the family. It happened many years prior to that, which is a load of shit. Because if Kody told Meri, I didn't want you to have claim over me anymore, that's Robyn's words, I think, in my opinion. Because if she wanted to be the queen bee and she came in, she called Kody her soulmate in season 1. She called him his soulmate. He was traveling down, spending weekends with her, courting, and not having sex before marriage, allegedly. I think she told Kody, you should melt down that ring or get rid of the ring. Don't wear it anymore because it's a symbol that Meri is your favorite wife or whatever.
Right.
It's absolute
Or that you're
bullshit.
only married to one wife.
Yes, but I mean, he was legally married to Meri. And then we have all of these events afterwards. Him asking Meri to get a legal divorce so that way he can adopt Robyn's kids and get married to her. But it really was just so he could be legally married to his favorite wife. And it makes me wonder because in season 1, Kody takes Meri to Mexico.
Yes.
And I wonder if this was to kind of help offset that because this ring thing hurt her so deeply. So he's like, oh, well, I'll just take my baby to Mexico and make her think that I love her and I'll talk about kids.
And I'll talk about IVF and I'll dangle that carrot in front of her so that she can continue on with the show that we're starting.
Manipulative as fuck. He knew what he was doing.
And the way Meri talks about it is like, so that happened when he met and or was courting Robyn. It wasn't until 7 years later that the catfish incident happened. Don't you think maybe that might have had something to do with the fact that I needed a friend? Because I certainly didn't have any actual friends in my family calling out Christine, calling out Janelle, calling out even Robyn.
Because I thought they were best friends, right?
Right.
In season 1, they were putting on this air like, I've never had a relationship with any other sister wife than I have with Robyn. It's just so great. She's so awesome.
Right.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you needed a friend. Why can't Meri be honest about the catfish thing too? Like she's always like, I needed a friend. Girl, you were sending banana pics. You sucking on a banana.
Right. And there's voicemails out there in which you were talking to who you think is a gentleman named Sam. And I have not listened to the voicemails. And we had discussed maybe listening to them and talking about them on Patreon. But like we haven't done that because I do think that's a little bit distasteful. And I actually feel bad for Meri, especially in 2023 when we're looking at back at really everything that she went through and like the deep disrespect that Kody and Robyn showed her all of these years.
It's really
I
awful.
would have bounced the moment you melted down my ring. I'd be like, okay, peace out,
Bye.
sucker. I'm out of here.
For real.
Prime of my life. I'm going to go find me another man or just go be happy. I'm not going to hang out with this. But Meri did, again, speaking to her actual loyalty, not just to Kody, but that entire family.
And her faith and her belief in their sacred covenant that they made. And same thing with Janelle. That's why Janelle stayed this whole entire time too, because she had her faith. Christine, after a certain point, was like, fuck this faith, fuck this man. I'm just gonna go.
Fuck you hoes. I gotta go.
For real.
So what did you think of Meri actually being so upset that Christine had the audacity to share that story without her permission?
Look, I can understand to an extent being upset because it is technically Meri's story to tell and it is a deeply personal and very painful story. And so I can understand Meri not really wanting to get into it because as she's talking about being mad at Christine about it, she's visibly upset. Like she's got tear balls in her eyes. Her voice is shaky. Like it really did hurt her. However, it's a story that affected all of the sister wives.
Right.
And if you're not going to be fucking honest, Meri, like you're literally the one that's the most cryptic. You don't say shit about anything. Like at the end of this tell-all, you're like, I'm not going to be silenced anymore. My voice will be heard. I don't fucking believe that unless I see a book where you're actually telling all of the stories of your marriage and your life and you're outing Kody and Robyn and you're actually worthying up. I don't believe it because she doesn't ever say anything. So I don't know. That's
and I'm
my
wondering
thing.
if that threat at the end of this episode was geared toward Kody and maybe Robyn, or whether that's just geared toward Christine and Janelle. I don't really know.
I don't want to hear about sister wife drama. Not about between Christine and Janelle and them?
Oh my God, I would eat that up with
unless
spoon,
it's like
honey.
Robyn, but like,
I would do like interpretive dance to that. I would sing that. I would compose music and perform that. I want the Sister Wives drama. I'm just wondering who she's really more pissed at, because I'm like, well, yeah, it wasn't Christine's story to tell, but to your point, like, it's absolutely something that affected the dynamic of the family.
yeah,
And it also sent a message not just to Meri, but to Janelle and to Christine, because Kody even says at some point, I took off the Clouder ring.
right.
Because these relationships aren't working and this doesn't feel good to me anymore. I want to know when that happened. When in the timeline did he take that off and he put on a different ring? And then I think there's one more ring, which is the stallion ring after that. So he's been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah.
This affects the entire family and even the kids. And so, yeah, Christine, maybe she was, I don't think she was being vindictive.
No, not at all.
Maybe it wasn't her place, but I'm glad she said something.
Me too.
Because otherwise, this is just another thing that the family is hiding from us.
Exactly. And I mean, I understand you wanting elements of privacy because your life is on the world stage and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you want privacy and if you don't want people to know anything about your life, then don't go on fucking TV for 18 seasons. I'm sorry, but like, come
Right.
on.
Yeah.
That's like where Meri being all so upset about it. It's like, I don't know what you expected.
Right.
I really don't.
We've been watching
Hello.
like Forensic Raccoons this entire time. So of course we're interested and we want to know. And to the topic of the ring and when Kody actually melted this down, of course, Reddit, which has sleuth after sleuth after sleuth, they did some digging and they found pictures of Kody out on his dates with Robyn. Remember, they went to the Mexican restaurant and he went over to her house. He's wearing the ring.
Yep.
So it was on his finger.
Yep.
Unless that was a different ring. I don't think so. I think that was the wedding ring.
I think it was too, because it was a gold wedding band. And so for Robyn to be like, he wasn't wearing one when we were dating.
Right.
Even then, that sounds shady as fuck. Why wouldn't he be wearing a wedding ring while you guys are dating?
Right.
That's messed up then, Robyn. Like you're putting your foot in your mouth.
Right. They can't keep their lies straight.
Nope, they can't.
Okay, finally we get back to Coyote Pass, the conversation that happened between Meri and Kody. And of course, Robyn was there putting on her
Crying.
displays of emotion and making it all about her. But what was really interesting about this conversation was the kind of digging deeper into the timeline of when Kody told Meri for sure that it was over. Because the way that Meri talks about it, the first anniversary that they had when they were in Flagstaff, I want to say this is 2019.
Yeah.
They went out, they went to dinner, and Kody signaled his intent to try to re-enter the relationship, try to repair things, and they cheersed to new beginnings.
Yeah.
And so Meri left that conversation feeling full of hope and so excited, which she says on Coyote Pass in some footage that we actually hadn't seen. It was the next anniversary when COVID hit, so 2020, that they went driving through Lake Flagstaff and they had that picnic where Kody told her, you know, I'm not courting you.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back to you. And while he didn't say it straight and outright, like, I want a divorce, I don't want to be with you, he certainly hinted very strongly at it.
Yeah.
But the way Meri recounts it, she still, in her opinion, didn't feel that that was very clear.
I don't
And
know
who knows
why.
what Kody is saying behind the scenes.
Right. We were talking about this while watching. Like, how can Meri have taken this long to finally realize that he doesn't want anything to do with her? And we were talking about like whether or not he was actually saying those things to her, like, oh, there is hope for our relationship, I still love you, I want to try, blah, blah, blah. Like, was he actually saying those things? Or was he actually saying what he says he's saying, which is, I don't want anything to do with you? Like, Kody's perspective is like, yeah, I've been telling her for years that, like, I don't know if we can really reconcile and I don't really love her and all this stuff. I don't know. I think he was going back and forth. I think he was like dangling the carrot a lot. I think he was very wishy-washy. Like sometimes he'd be like, you know, I'm not really interested in this. I need some space from you or whatever. And then he'd come back after a while because he needed money for some painting or some stallion ring or whatever and be like, yeah, there's hope. There's cheers to new beginnings. It's great.
Yeah, and we have to factor in the pressure that Robyn was allegedly pushing on him. So maybe he felt like he needed to kind of keep Meri strung along, which is a terrible thing to do no matter what. We also get some reiteration that the last anniversary that they had together, which was April 2022, was when he said in no uncertain terms that he does not want to be with her. He doesn't want to insert himself into her life in any way. So that was the first time, I guess, that she got the clear message that this shit was over. And I wanted to mention that I caught just a little bit of James from My Take on Reality's live stream after Sister Wives aired, so Sunday night, in which he actually asked a question which blew my mind. So if Kody is telling Meri in 2019 when they get to Flagstaff that there's a chance that we can be together, that I want to have a new beginning with you, I want to recreate our marriage, James asks, had Meri sold her house in Las Vegas yet? And James goes on to say, she had the nicest house. It probably, I don't know, actually, I have no idea how much it sold for, but it might have sold for the most money. I'm not sure. She had like fine taste and she put it all into that house. But if she had not sold her house yet while they were in Flagstaff, remember it took some time to do so.
Yeah.
And we know that Meri ultimately used the proceeds of the sale of her Vegas house towards Robyn's home, the McMansion in Flagstaff. Maybe he was trying to just keep her on the hook until he got her money from the Las Vegas home sale to tell her that he didn't want her anymore. So maybe that's where he told her that their marriage could be saved.
I hope somebody out there is a sleuth and can figure out when Meri's house was actually sold and correlate that with the time of this anniversary dinner where it was
April 2019.
Yes. So we need to know. If you guys can figure it out, let us know.
We could probably do the research, but
we're lazy.
Yeah. We do a lot anyway.
We do.
But that's a good question.
I mean, and that would make sense, like why he's going back and forth, because maybe we could trace that kind of behavior back all the way to like season 1. If he was melting down her ring, but then he takes her to Mexico for 3 days for a romantic anniversary getaway, but then he goes back to not loving her and not having sex with her, and then does something nice for her again.
Surrogacy,
like maybe it's a pattern.
The surrogacy. I'll carry your baby. Keeping her on the hook for the show.
For the money.
The money.
It's all about that. That is so diabolical.
Yeah, James, you asked the right questions. By the way, again, his YouTube channel is My Take on Reality. We've shouted him out a few times over the year.
He's so great.
Absolutely love him. You should definitely check him out. He's got some high level critique of this show. So after the final conversation at that last anniversary dinner, Meri apparently asks Kody, well, can we make it public? Can we tell people that we're no longer together? And this is where Cody's like, yeah, no. I don't need the criticism. People hate me anyway. I don't need it to get any worse. And so I would rather not say anything.
Which is absolutely insane,
Not
because
fair.
then he goes on TV to say that I don't consider myself married to Meri anymore, and I don't care if she fucks a new man.
Right.
Like literally, that's so insane to me. He doesn't want her to say anything because then it'll make him look bad. But then if he says something, it's okay.
Right.
Because he can control the narrative.
Right.
But he's not controlling it. Like he looks worse and worse every episode. And I've been saying this all season. Like, I don't know how a man can get any more unlikable and any more despicable. Like every episode he says some new shit that just makes me so fucking mad.
Yeah.
Because he's so stuck in his ego and he doesn't want to admit himself that he does love all of these women, and he's heartbroken that his family is broken because of Robyn. It's all because of Robyn. That's the thing. He doesn't want to admit it.
I guess I'll just be the devil that they think I am. Oh, God. Honey. It's not that you're a devil. It's that you lack integrity and values and morals and love for your actual family. And it's because you're a liar. So Meri thinks this is unfair because she's been hanging out. She's been super loyal. She's been jumping through hoops, doing all the things he asked her to do, which I think probably includes tendering the money that helps Robyn buy her McMansion, honey.
Totally.
And, so if he doesn't want to be in this marriage, he shouldn't just be secretive about it. He should actually announce it. They should be able to announce it, but he doesn't want to, which she finds to be incredibly unfair. And then she sees the footage. Okay, so this is April of 2022. They filmed that tell-all for season 18 in, I think, October of 2022.
Yeah.
And in a couple of weeks preceding that and during that tell-all, she starts to see the kind of shit he's been saying. And then she's like, okay, absolutely, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And then we have the scene at Coyote Pass. I guess Kody and Meri talked a couple days before that where they confirmed this is done. And then we're out at Coyote Pass. And it sounds like, I'm wondering if Meri maybe lured them out there under the pretense of walking the land to talk about where she might want to build her home. But she knew she was going to sit down and force him to have this conversation on camera.
Oh my
Yes. I wonder if that's
God.
what happened.
I would love that if that happened. And maybe that means that she'll actually start spilling some tea. Now that all of this shit is out in the open and she's not hiding any secrets and she's feeling a little bit better about herself. That would be so fucking great.
Right.
I want a book from her.
Right.
Please.
I think it's very important that Meri feels like everybody understands that she did absolutely everything she could do to save this marriage. It's important for her personally, but it's also very important for her spiritually. She grew up in this culture. She knows the implications of all of this. And so she wants it said that it's Kody that's the one that's causing this and that's pushing this. And so in that scene, obviously, Kody finally says it, right? And he says it on camera, rather. He's like, it's never going to be what you want. You know, we're friends. That's it. I can't give you what you want. And we get a proper breakup, finally.
I do respect that from her if that's what she was wanting, like wanting him to finally admit that it's over and that it's done with. And for the world to see that it is Kody Brown that doesn't want anything to do with any of these wives, which is just hilarious to me because the opening credits to this show have always been like love should be multiplied and not divided. And then you're saying I was never in love with any of these women. I said I loved them, but it was all an act.
Right.
It was all a farce. I was forcing myself to be in love with them, but I wasn't.
So to Ainsley's question at the top of this podcast episode, like, what is there to continue to watch?
Right.
First of all, you've proven yourself to be a complete liar, and anything you're showing us, we cannot believe.
Yeah.
There's nothing authentic about you. There's nothing trustworthy about you. And honestly, there's nothing interesting about you or your kids with Robyn.
No.
So why would we be invested enough to continue to follow your life? You're an asshole. You're a liar. I think you're an abuser and you treat your family terribly.
Yes.
Like that doesn't make a good show, my friend.
No, not at all. Maybe they'll get into more of the Coyote Pass stuff because if Janelle's still wanting to build there and she's still living in Flagstaff, like maybe we'll see some things like that. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
To get into the coins.
From her POV, not his though.
Right. I don't care about his at all because he's just going to be lying the whole entire time.
So we end this tell nothing with Suki asking Meri, well, why don't you just call him and say it's over? I'm going to do what I want to do. And Meri said, well, because he wouldn't hear me. And Suki says something like,
sad.
Is it about him hearing you or is it about you being heard? And this is where Meri gives her iconic line. She's really trying to do something here. She says, oh, I will be heard. I won't be silent anymore.
My God.
Dun, dun, dun.
So dramatic.
And obviously she's teasing, I don't know, a tell-all of her own and or a tell-all book, which we would all love, obviously. Now, let's talk, as we wrap this up, let's talk a little bit about Suki, because do you think she redeemed herself at all here?
I think she's getting a little better. Like she is asking tougher questions and she's kind of trying to put Kody on the spot a little bit. But I think she's doing kind of a delicate dance. And with all of these one-on-ones, like I said last episode, it is kind of hard to like keep all of these stories straight.
Sure.
Because you have two liars on the set. You have Robyn and Kody lying their asses off the whole entire time. And then you have the three OG wives like trying to give their honest accounts for things and then also react to the bullshit that they're saying. So I give props to Suki this season. I feel like she's handling it a little bit better, but we'll see how the next two parts go.
I did get the sense that she did actually watch the show though this time, because she made some reference to things like, oh, I know what you mean by that, or I remember when that happened. And so thank you for at least watching the show like the rest of us have to. And I actually didn't mind her so much. I think she could have done so much better. I think this whole thing could be structured in a much better way, but I didn't hate it as much.
Yeah.
So for that, I am grateful.
Yeah, for sure. It would be nice if we could at least have like the three OG wives together in one spot and then have Kody and Robyn be separate if they want to be. That's totally fine. Like, I don't blame the three OG wives for not wanting to be around Kody and Robyn in a tell-all. That's totally fine too. It's just, it would be nice if there was just like two groups. It's kind of hard to like watch these and have it bop and back and forth between all of these different narratives. And then like the way that they edit these are so weird because they're like editing them almost out of context.
Oh, for sure.
Or like it's Suki asking like a weird question that didn't have anything to do with what we just watched prior. It's kind of hard to follow a
It
little
is hard
bit.
to follow. It is hard. It doesn't need to be this hard.
No, it doesn't.
Stick them in a room and let them talk. Let them fight it out. That's what we want to see. Any final thoughts?
I mean, this was a better tell-all than last one.
We learned that ring, honey.
Dude.
The way that detonated in the center of the sister wives community.
That is so
Wild.
fucked up.
Wild.
Absolutely
Can you
wild.
imagine if you found out that your wife, my daughter, just took your ring and melted it down?
You wouldn't have a daughter anymore.
I would be like, let's beat my daughter's ass. How could you do that? That's
Absolutely
the
not.
ultimate sign of disrespect. And you could see years later the pain on Mary's face.
Still to this day.
It was humiliating
Yes.
and shameful. He wouldn't even let her keep it as a keepsake. He's like, no, bitch, I'm going to transform it into something that I want.
Yeah. And so it wasn't clear to me. Did he melt it into a new ring?
I don't think so.
Or did he just
melted
discard
it down? I think he just melted it down. Maybe
That's
he sold
crazy.
it for its value, which would not have been a lot.
That's crazy
Yeah.
to me. And that's just so fucked up for him to not even allow Meri to keep it.
To not tell her in the first place,
Yeah.
just to show up one day without the ring anymore. And she's like, what happened to our wedding ring?
I
And
don't
not
wait
have
a
a
claim.
conversation about it.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Okay, well, this, I guess, concludes our conversation
Yeah.
about sister wives. We have many weeks to go.
We
as
do.
continue to have. Oh, one thing I wanted to say about season 19, and again, back to Ainsley, because she's asking, like, is there anything after season 19? Why is TLC giving us the wedding special of, I feel like my wig is slipping, the wedding special of Christine and David in the first half of January 2024, and then going into season 19 where we're going to watch Christine meeting David?
Right.
What are we
Such a
doing
good
this ass
point.
backward bullshit?
Such a good point. Maybe it's because Christine and Janelle have been on all these magazines and doing interviews and stuff. They're just trying to capitalize off of it. But that is such a good point. Because we are going to have to see all of the dating footage. Because it's all just going to be behind because we can never be fucking current.
Don't you think you could just maybe edit season 19 and get it out sooner than you normally would? Like I say, get it out like maybe March of 2024. And then after that, after we watch the romance, that journey with Christine and David, then get a wedding special? I just don't understand why this production company is doing it the way that they are. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. It's just so hodgepodge crazy.
But I'll be watching.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay, so we're going to be back later this week to talk again about the, I think, season finale of Welcome to Plathville. And it's been a good
Yes.
season. Also, we're going to be covering 90 Day Fiancé. And until then, is there anything else that we need to say to these beautiful raccoons, Beatrice?
Well, if you love our podcast, I sure hope that you go onto your favorite podcast platform and leave us a glowing 5-star review. Let us know how much you love us. That would really help us grow the pod. Thank you so much.
And until we see or talk to you next time, never forget that we love you very much and peace out.
Bye.